Good.
GPT.
Have you sent?
It's here.
Okay. Uploaded, yeah? Okay. Good, thank you. Okay, welcome. Showtime. There. Go find there. Okay. Okay, let's start. Okay, class, welcome. Be quiet, right? Need to be quiet. You are in the Metaverse, yeah? You are in the Metaverse. That means you will be there forever. Yeah? Good. Thank you. Showtime, right? You have to show. Yeah? Okay. So for MBA students, right? Presentation skills are critical. Yeah? Even you know the skills, the knowledge, you have to present it. Right? That's a fact for IT industry, yeah? A lot of Indian native become executive, right? Google, yeah? PDF, Microsoft, right? $multi-billion salary, right? What's their skill? Different than you. Copy skill, probably. The presentation skill, yeah? Very critical, yeah? If you every time you make $1 million per year. If you're outstanding, you make $10 million per year. Like CEO of Google, CEO of Microsoft, right? A salary over $10 million. So that means presentation skills, communication are worth $9 million. Yeah, more than that. So this is time to practice your project presentation skills. Okay? So each team has 50 minutes, okay? Because we have 17, right? So I must interrupt you if you hope that. You have to control it. And each of you present should pronounce your name. I will mark your name there. No name, no marks, okay? Tell me your name. And pay attention. You ask, basically you will answer 5 questions, which is your final exam. Okay, let's make an announcement right now. Good news for you, next week, we can do final exam online. But you must turn on your camera on and record it. Let us see. Make sure you don't cheat it, right? Right? And academic department will audit it. So turn on your camera, every team will start on time. You have 2 hours to answer 5 questions. Okay? You don't need an Excel, you don't need a Tableau, you don't need a Python. It's an answer 5 questions. Okay. So, okay, pay attention right now. So, simple like this. So today you're doing team project presentation. Also competition, right? So who can A, who can B. Okay, competition. So you basically you find the dataset, find some problem, right? Same thing. You find them, I give you a case, yeah, very brief case. Can be Walmart, can be Seven Food, can be Amazon, can be, yeah. I'm going to tell you because I'm finding them. Okay, so you will answer 5 questions. Yeah. Wow. So same thing, right? Today. What's the problem? What's business problem that you want to solve? What's business problem you want to solve? And what's data? Alright, the first question. This is our assignment 1. What's your data? How do you collect data? What's the that policy you are probably concerned? Yeah? What's that strategy? Yeah? You ever recall the data strategy? Defensive or offensive or mixture? Yeah? So you want to answer that question. So the second one, what's PV? Tableau PV. PV work can you do? Today you will show us, yeah? And you will show some graph, right? For you, is find them. What's the how many steps to do? You know, the example of the assignment 3. Right, 8 steps. Yeah. And this one is just apply CRISP, right? The CRISP one. The process will work, right? Okay. Number 3, what's K-mean? Clustering. You know, how you cluster your data set? What's possible the user profile you're going to find out? Yeah. And what's meant by K-mean? You need to explain that algorithms, right? Based on the equivalence distance. Then you apply for this data set, right? Same thing we're doing. Then you need to classification methods can be 2 of 7, right? Linear regression, time series, logistic regression, support-based, language-based, yeah, and decision tree, right? So you apply 2. Same thing, so you find example. Number 3, what's your finding? What's your finding, yeah? What's your recommendation for CEO of recommendation? For CEO of Walmart, or CEO from Amazon, or CEO from 7-Food, right? Yeah? That's the purpose, right? What's your finding? Third, this is your final exam, and you will do today, focus on this 5, right? All of this 5. Yeah? Very brief, show what you have achieved. Yeah? 50 minutes. Yeah? The final exam will give you 2 hours, you go 9. Yeah? Okay? It's clear? Final exam on 9, MS-16. Okay? And you will give you a case, I also give you that set. You will answer 5 questions. Okay? Not interview kind of question. Yeah, you need to write answer on your massive word. Then submit, right? Yeah, you don't copy anything, right? Or reduce similarity. Just answer Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, for 5. Done. Right? That's interview question. Okay? You are allowed to access PowerPoint, your textbook, and your assignment. Listen. When you're allowed, otherwise you cannot do anything else. Yeah? You cannot copy others. Yeah? Never copy others because you're not too high. You're most fair. Yeah, don't do that. Okay? So now, let's invite team 1 to do presentation. Team 1 work, okay? So I already recorded there. It's live, okay? And I also have a Metaverse. And after this, each of you give this team evaluation, right? Yeah? And I will record who are not when you are not smart. You don't evaluate this team. Yeah, make sure you are audience, right? To be professional. I will take highs out, lows out, empty out. Yeah, that's can be good about 50% of the degree. Make sure you do it professionally. Yeah. Okay, let's do it, right? So now 412, right? 442. 442. Let's go funny. Go to the Wow. Okay, go ahead. Let's give it one time for team one.
Good afternoon. I'm going to open the presentations about the team project. First of all, we're going to introduce our team, me, Leandro, Mark, Alvaro, Ashi, and Shalim. And
So each of you need to present, you introduce yourself, okay? Very quick. What's your name?
Leandro.
Okay, good. Thank you.
And for a big project, we choose a big problem, unemployment. It's a big problem since days before. So go back, please. Stay there. So with COVID-19, it gets worse, and that's why we decided to look at it. Cool. When you think about database, we got our data from the government of Canada, so we think it's trustful. We were trying to find information like unemployment rate, labor force, and stuff like that. And we got like 6 data sources into this big database from government. When you get the data, first of all, we got the raw data and we have to work on it, like looking for the right type of data with string or dates or locations, stuff like that. We have to define some limits. We are working with 5 years, like 2017 to 2021, for 3 bases, and the basis that we have month, we are working from 2019 and 2022. Then we put all in the Tableau, and we can put forward. The first thing that we done here was look for the unemployment rate across Canada. And looking into this map here, we can see the outliers like Alberta, Newfoundland and Labrador, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia. And we try to put on the perspective how immigrants are on this kind of problem, the unemployment rate. And we saw like 2 opposite behaviors. First, we saw that on the Newfoundland and Labrador, we found that the unemployment rate in there is lower for the immigrants landed than the Canadian border, and that's mostly because of the immigrants they are willing to get lower wages and salaries, and they are more motivated to find the jobs. And the opposite is that on Montreal, Quebec, we saw that the ones that born in Canada has the unemployment rate 3 times lower than the immigrants that landed with 5 years or more. So we move there when we came here because it's too difficult to get a job there. Just kidding. And now, Mark.
Hi guys, I am Mark. I am in charge with the Tableau analysis. But first, before we proceed with the analysis, let me clarify first some terms that might be confusing later with the analysis. Let me define unemployed and unemployed. If you are 15 years old and above and doesn't have a job, and if you are looking for actively seeking for a job, you are unemployed. Otherwise, you are non-employed. Non-employed are stay-at-home parents and retired workers and students. If you are enrolled as a student, you are not part of the unemployment rate. Okay, specifically covered. Okay. This is the map view of unemployment rate in Canada. You can notice that there are 4 provinces who have the highest unemployment rate. These are the Alberta, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland and Labrador, and New Brunswick. Newfoundland and Labrador it stands out because it has the highest unemployment rate, 14.74%. In 2020, it shoot up to 18.06 and stable to 16.27 and 14.74 on 2022. These are the 4 provinces with the highest unemployment rate, but we focus on the Newfoundland and Labrador because it has the highest with 14.74. And what are the attributes that affects the unemployment rate in Canada as a whole?
So what's BC?
BC is British Columbia.
No, what's the unemployment rate?
What's the
What's the BC unemployment rate?
BC unemployment rate?
Yeah.
It's 5.54 compared to Newfoundland and Labrador, which is 14.74.
Okay, good.
This is the unemployment rate by sex and age. You can see the difference that there's a huge gap. The red line is the female and the blue one is the male. You can notice that there are more unemployed men in Canada. In 2020 alone, there are 21.96% that are unemployed men that are unemployed, and only 6% with women. Let's dig deeper why it's...
Women have more opportunity here. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Good find.
Let's find the reason why there are more unemployed men than women. We also analyze based on the educational level. There are not much difference, except for if you did not graduate from high school. Women are more comprises the unemployment rate in Canada. And as you go higher, as you go proceed with above bachelor's degree or MBA, it's almost flat. You're most probably employed if you have MBA. And this is the unemployment rate by industries. Above women dominates the services sectors, health and care and social assistance, while these jobs are more stable. That's why women are with these jobs you are most probably stay longer because these are more stable. Education and healthcare sectors, while men are more drawn to skilled labors that require physical labors like construction, mining, oil and gas. And next is the classmate.
Hello, my name is Aksa. And my part is
What did it mean?
my part is social mechanics and Mark had me about various states. So as a team, we decided to use Tableau Excel. So because we have a lot of data sets as we have to look as a whole of Canada. So everyone automatically accommodates us the number of clusters to demonstrate our data similarities and trends. So although you can see here the well, attributes we have mentioned. Sorry. Okay, as we decide to use the data of the unemployment rate, so you can see here the line are linear and not scattered. So as for the variables, we use as the sum of 16 rate, the provisional degree, status, education degree, and the number of cluster was divided into two, and the number of points is 492. And the cluster one was cluster one would be the base between the province of the new farmland and the Labrador and the Nova Scotia, because the number of unemployment rate was higher in that regions, and it was the common similarities among all of the males have the post-secondary certificate and the diplomas and are very landed in immigrants. So, and the cluster two is the females of the province of the Newfoundland and the Nova Scotia and the Labrador. And
So let's say have you used elbow?
yeah, we do use the elbow and
What tools are you using? What tool?
we use the Tableau, right?
Yes.
We use Tableau.
You use Tableau?
Yes.
Okay. But it should show our your elbow graph, right? So right now you have two clusters, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So, okay.
Hello everyone, my name is Shalim and I am going to discuss about the two classification point, linear regression and time series. Linear regression is the statistical tool which is used to find the one variable depend based on the another variable. Whereas in the linear regression, which we use, one variable which we use to predict, which we predict is called dependent variable, and which we used variable is called the independent variable. In the time series, this is the statistical tool which we use to analyze the data for the future prediction based on the previous observation. And as my friend all of them discuss about the employment rate of the Canada for the till the 2022 years. Now I'm going to discuss about the future prediction of the Canada and Newfoundland Labrador two provinces of the 2030, 2023 and 2024. There are several methods which can be used to analyze and predict the data for predict the future data, such as Excel, Python, and R square. But for our convenience, we used Excel to use the linear regression and time series. Going for the discussion, as you can see on the graph, this is the Canadian unemployment rate for the future prediction of 2023 and 2024. And it's kind of by this graph we can visualize this data like Canada's unemployment rate is decreasing by in the upcoming future, whereas if we just going into detail with the provinces, the Newfoundland Labrador unemployment rate is increasing. By analyzing the situation, we all are aware about the COVID-19 situation. Still, it's going to affect in some of the businesses right now. Due to this one, people are becoming more health conscious and tends to avoid the physical interaction. Now the people or the many employees just prefer to work from home rather than going to the office. This could be the reason that in the last 2 quarters or the last 2 years, the Canada's employment rate is increasing. But the now situation got changed. Now for that the lot of startups are happening and lot of new companies are getting registered. Due to this reason, as per our prediction, this Canada's employment rate is going to decrease in the upcoming future. Also, government has decided to lifted the 20 hours working permit for the international student, which is also beneficial for the economy, and they are expected to maintain a stable economy in upcoming future. These all are parameters and above reasons proves our prediction for the Canada's unemployment rate. Thank you. The next part will be discussed by Arvind.
Hi everyone, my name is Alvaro, and now I'm going to do the name-based analysis. For this analysis, we use information about characteristics about the people in Canada, about the age, the student status, the gender, and also if they are immigrants or if they are Canadians. So first we made a frequency and analytical table to know how this data is distributed in our data. So after this, we use this information to get the following results. These results are based on a probability of the gender status of the people based on each of these characteristics I already mentioned. The more important thing here is that we can see, for example, in the case of the probability of being full-time employment being a female is higher than the probability of being full-time employment than being a male. So it's more probable that a woman have a full-time employment than a man. Then also in the case of immigrants versus Canadians, the probability of being full-time employment based on Canadian is higher than the probability of being full-time employment based on immigrants. Finally, we use another probability to be more sure about the results. So now we use two characteristics based on the gender status. So the more important result here is that the probability of being Canadian and a student based on full-time employment is higher than the probability of being an immigrant and a student based on full-time employment, which means that there is more chances for Canadians to be in a good position of having a job than for an immigrant that is a student.
A while ago, I discussed why the reasons, the issues why there are more unemployed in men than women. We come up with some recommendations to address these issues. One, modernize the education system. Encourage students to take up courses that focus more on skilled labors that are in demand on each provinces, especially on Newfoundland and Labrador. And two, provide incentives to landed immigrants who have been laid off because of the nature of the industries they work at, especially in Newfoundland and Labrador. More of the in-demand jobs require physical labor, like in mining, oil and gas, and fisheries. And three, invest in programs that would encourage residents to venture into businesses and provide job alternatives to women who have no means to pursue further studies. Most women that do not graduate high school comprises the higher unemployment rate.
Okay, thumbs up. Okay, thank you. Yeah. So the problem they try to solve is very significant, right? To study what's factor impact unemployment. Yeah, and they used Tableau to visualize man, woman, age, education, right? Good job. And also used clustering, yeah, to cluster two of this group, right? But I cannot see the elbow graph. That's very pretty. Yeah, it's just and you need to show you data and you method to show it. Otherwise, it's no any adjustment, right? And my question for your time series, and you guys try to some work, right? So there's a typical seasonal employment, yeah, the seasonality there. So you used linear regression to fit the line. That's reasonable. So how did you do time series to talk about the seasonality, catch up the seasonality factor?
For the time series, I used Excel, and we have already your data from the past 5 years. And according to the use of data, basically we use the tool for the time series, which is already available in the Excel, right?
Okay.
So by this one,
so using Excel, okay?
Yeah, by using Excel, we just made this graph.
Okay.
And according to we just made
okay. I will read the report for detail, right?
Yeah.
So what's the conclusion for time series? Which season have high unemployment? Which season have low employment?
Sir, from the prediction, we did the prediction for the 2023-2024 for the Canada, and over the detailed province, we did the conclusion on the Newfoundland province.
Right.
The Canada unemployment rate, according to the graph, it's not decreasing in the upcoming years.
Well, there's seasonality I'll try to see, right?
Yes,
yeah. What season there's a high risk unemployment?
For the detail is we just put it into in
Okay.
your code, but you cannot do this in the slides. That's why.
Okay, so this is a general question, right? It was asked you, what did you find it? Yeah, what have you found?
Main
Yeah.
is decreasing in the upcoming years.
Yeah, so you look like a fortune teller. Oh, you guys come in. Well, you are doing that. You need data to show it. Eh? That's good. You may be right, but you need data, you measure to show it. Yeah. Otherwise, nobody will publish your result without the data, without the measure. Yeah. Because no evidence to support your statement. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So one more question from your audience, from team 1. If you ask question, you get 5 marks. Is better? Yeah. That's good. Ask question. Yeah. For team 1. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. What should I do? Yeah. Okay. You first.
Easy question. Easy question.
Yeah, you are first.
How did you say you determine the number of clusters?
Well, there are two clusters. The one with since we are limited with our data only focuses on unemployment rate. That's why our clusters are just straight line. There are no it's not scattered because of we just focus on unemployment rate. We did not include the other rates like the participation rate, employment rate, or the labor force.
You need an elbow algorithm to show it. Yeah. Otherwise, it's intuition. Huh? Of course, employment. What else? Or semi-employment, maybe, right? Some other part-time jobs. Okay. One more question for lady. Yeah. Yeah. Want to be lady.
Easier to predict. How do we bring this up?
How do we grade ourselves based on presentation?
100 out of 100.
How do we grade ourselves?
Yeah, 100 out of 100. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, thank you. Please, move to the possible. Every 9 and 10, give Q1 duration. Okay? Be professional. Yeah. Yeah. You cannot inflate it. You waste time. Yeah, good. Yeah. I'm very democratic professor, right? Give them you duration from your time. Yeah? Yeah. For next one, the team 2 will do the next one, you should do earlier. Yeah? You should not ask any question. Yeah? So this way save some time. Okay? So team 2 should be faster. Yeah? Use the duration. When you listen to duration, that's fine. Yeah? So you guys submit your more points and your final report. Yeah? That also email to me. You can use Gmail. Use the file to me, right? Gmail I can access GUI. Okay, so team 2. Who's team 2? So next time team 2 should not ask any question because you are losing time. Yeah? Okay. It must go within 50 minutes. So you can sit ready. So who is the team 3? Team 3. So make sure you do quickly, yeah? You do evaluation, you prepare, yeah? So save some time. Okay? So all the ladies, yes, ready? Yeah, you're ready? Yeah, okay, good, that's good, yeah. Otherwise, sorry, some of you. Yes, yeah, that's good. That's very good, yeah. Yeah, what do you do, yeah? So what do you want to you plug there, yeah. This one. Oh. Yeah, this one, yeah. Yeah. You plug it directly. Make sure you relate the one, yeah. You are not smart because I am blocking you name. Class translation. That's you right. The question is right, yeah. That is a very democratic country, right? You can question Just two X on this page. Yeah? Okay. So Simpson, you relate to this one. That's good. You can follow. That's good. Yeah, thank you. Okay, Tube 2, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Do it. So that's 50 minutes. What's time right now? 5:08. Okay. Do it.
Hello everyone, my name is Kavin Ruta. We're team 2.
I am Eduardo.
Now, do you introduce when you talk? You introduce yourself. Actually, I am not covered. Are you ready individually?
Yes. I'm Kavin Ruta. So our business problem, we call it bike bias, okay? So what's the purpose of business analytics? It's important in gathering data, understand the data that you gather, to use the data to develop models, predict results, to give feedback to the business or person, doing the research, and hopefully to increase business profitability. All right, so in our paper, we looked at a database of about 1,001 customers from different occupational, income, gender, and educational backgrounds, whether they purchased bikes or not. Analysis tools used were Excel and Tableau software to develop prediction models.
So where your data? Not data source. Where did you collect the data?
Why do we call it?
Where?
Where? The website, it's in the...
We collected it from Tableau website.
From Gary?
Tableau, yes.
Okay, that's good enough.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
The issue, so the main problem is that we found that about 48.10% of families have purchased or are willing to purchase bikes, while 51.90% of families they did not purchase bikes. So this amount equals an opportunity to pursue more sales and increase profitability. Now I'll hand over to Eduardo, who will go into data visualization. Sorry, Adarsh will do data visualization.
So, hi, my name is Adarsh. We did analysis using Tableau software to categorize how many people have already brought bikes and how many people are left to buy bikes, so that we can create a kind of classification of segmentation. So let's examine the results we got in visualization using Tableau. So the first classification we found was like we did a comparison between people who have already purchased cars and whether they have purchased bikes or not. So what we saw was that there is a lot of people who have purchased cars, have purchased bikes, and there's a whole lot more who haven't purchased bikes in spite of having cars. So if we found this data useful, and if we identify the reasons or the interest behind this orange group who have purchased the bikes, we could utilize that to motivate the remaining people towards buying. So this data will be useful for the marketing team to take up the analysis and do the advertisements. The next classification we found was that there were people who have already brought home and many of them have already brought bikes, but there is a whole lot of people remaining to buy bikes. So this helps in creating a classification for marketing team, which is called a behavioral segmentation. Like if we analyze and understand the lifestyle of the people who already have homes, it will help the marketing team to pursue the advertisements to motivate the remaining people who are homeowners to buy the bikes. Next slide, please. The third one which we found was that we did a classification for the different regions like North America, Pacific, and the Europe. And we found that we have a huge customer base in North America who can buy the bikes. And as you can see here, in North America, there is a whole lot of people who have not purchased bikes, followed by people in Europe and the Pacific. So this analytic data which we found will be helpful in creating a geographic segmentation and will help the marketing team to pursue the advertisements in these areas. So apart from this, we did more classifications and also this one dashboard and story analysis also. So all our findings have helped in isolating the region-wise and behavioral classification for the remaining people who have the potential to buy the bikes. It's like this. So that's all from my side on the Tableau software. Passing the control to Eduardo to speak on K-means clustering. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Eduardo. Then I was in charge of doing the K-means clustering. Just like a reminder, a cluster is data that share similar characteristics within a group. That's the K-means cluster. You can continue. So I did this technique using Excel stats. And it's very important that when using Excel stats, selecting the data and the tables about bike buyers, Excel only accepts numerical data, just quantitative data. Everything, for example, like the gender, male or female, since that is qualitative data, I use a formula to convert the gender from number 1 or 0. So that helped me to get more data in the K-means cluster. All right, while doing this, I was able to get the information in Excel stats. So, for example, this says single or married, and it says like 0. What is the meaning of 0? For example, 0 it says single, and married says 1, and it gives the previously in the descriptive statistics, it gives the mean of how many people is single and how many people is married, etc. And it gives a cluster centroid, which is like the data. It gets like the data, and it says like, are they willing to go and buy bikes? And I set here 1 as they are going to buy bike, and we have like the characteristics. If they have children, what is their ideal income? If they have a house, everyone have a house here for buying bikes. If they have a car, yeah, and all these 5 clusters, yeah, Excel stats, yeah, gave them to us, and we can take decisions based on this. So you can continue with the, yeah, and one more thing, talking about the central clusters, is that Excel will give in, for example, cluster 1, cluster 2, cluster 3. It will give the list of observations or other data that is surrounding each cluster. That's why it's possible to get like a chart with like the cluster and data around, because Excel gives the list of observations near the cluster. Then, okay, to know.
So how do you interpret the 5 cluster?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I remember maybe 2 weeks ago, professor was teaching us in Python that we have like a confidence level. How much can I trust the data? And this is using the K-means clustering. There is something called silhouette scores. Excel stats give you that like chart and percentages. And for example, if the cluster is close to 1, it means that the confidence level is higher. So we have here like the confidence level or silhouette scores on each cluster. And on cluster 1, we can see that is the highest. So if it says like the income, they have to have like 40,000 income, 1 children, 1 house. If somebody shares that characteristics or another customer, it's most likely that if the answer is yes, they are interested in buying a bike.
So that means the first class 1 most likely to buy.
Yes, you can go back.
That's good.
Yeah, cluster 1. So yes, it says the most like the highest confidence level is on cluster 1. So if there are more customers with 40,000 income that are male, that are married, that have one child, that have one house, 0 cars, 42 years, they are more likely that they will buy a house. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, that's on my part, and we also have an album in Excel stuff that we didn't show in the presentation, but we can show it at the end.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it will be, yeah, Arshdeep.
Hello everyone, my name is Arshdeep. So I was in charge for doing the regression analysis. So like that, it's a method to examine the relationship between one or more variables. Okay, so here you can see the descriptive status. So the stat shows that the number of respondents are more married or the ones who have children, irrespective of their age or their gender. Okay. Now the namespace. Okay, so here you can see that the number of the people who are gonna buy the bikes in the
What's
future.
your Y? What's your X for your Y? It's a linear regression, yeah?
It's the Navy Spice.
What's that?
Navy Spice. Navy Spice.
Like you base, okay. What's your Y? You want to find out.
So these are the number of people that are gonna buy the bikes in the future.
Intend to buy bicycle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
And
Yeah.
these are the ones who will not buy.
Yeah.
It's a prediction. So the table shows that the number of people who are going to buy the bikes are dropping in the future, and it can be because of their personal decisions or something else. Because income, occupation, and education factors like this are more or less have less influence on their decisions. Now I'll call Eddie to for the conclusion.
Alright, so as a final conclusion, on each method we have we can visualize or have like a different visualization or analysis on each data. So for example, Tableau helps us to see that North America is the region where we can have more like potential customers. Doing the regression analysis, we saw that there might be some external factors that influence customers not to buy a bike, so it gives more opportunity of having a business, selling bikes. And also, as my worker said, that we can use all this data for marketing strategies.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, thank you for thinking.
Do you want to see the apple?
Apple, yeah, you have Apple, it'll be great. That's my question. Okay. Team 3 should give you relation right away, yeah? So this way, save some time. So this is an interesting data set. You know, give you own buy, rent, or work for Walmart to sell a bicycle. What would you buy your bicycle, right? So this is such a very significant question. So they use data visualization Tableau to see woman, man, with house, with car, what's that correlation, yeah? Visualize that. Then they use Excel statistics to do k-mean clustering to find out. Right? Basically, I'm still not clear about why you get 5 cluster. How that interpret, yeah? So to me, that's why, you show me, but it's 5 hours really, right? So the intuition should have 2, yeah? No idea, yeah? 2 are 5 and not 5. Or something, not 5, yeah? I don't know. So as a business owner, right? You want to keep 1 bicycles, you can promote it, yeah? You can call them, yeah? Okay, give them coupon discount. Okay, they also use the Liu base, okay, to do some analysis. And what other method classify? You should have 2 classify, yeah?
Oh yes, Mary was I sent you an email.
Yeah, there's you have 2 classmates. I mean, classify. You should have two.
Yes. Mary was the one that was going to do the classification, but she got sick.
Oh, she got sick. Okay, wow.
She told me that she will send you an email.
Will send me an email. Right? Okay, wow.
That's
She
why-
contributed to find the report. Yeah.
Yeah, she did not contribute.
Oh, that's the issue. Yeah. You also okay? Good. You should have 5 people. Okay, got it. Okay, that's fine. I will read you one more question for this team. Team 2, please. Okay, from there. You want marks? Yeah. Ask question for team 2. Bicycle. You buy bicycle? You know bicycle? You to buy? Yeah. So find out. Yeah. You look like a bicycle. Any question for this? Bicycle buy or not buy?
Buy bikes.
Okay, otherwise, okay, good. Thank you. Thank you. Good. Thank you. Thank you. Give team to evaluation, please. Go to your first photo. Team 2. Yes. Yes. Okay. What is team 2 evaluation, okay? That team 3 ready to go. Ladies team, plus the one gentleman. Yeah. Lady have a bright future in Canada, yeah? Man, maybe go to US. Yeah, you are joining them together, yeah? Good. Okay, everybody, have you done evaluation for team 2? Okay, good, thank you. Yeah, have you done that? Thank you. Let's welcome team 3, ladies, last stoneman. Yeah. Okay, you may start right now, and 5:25. 5:25, 15, 5:40. So you really have that. Apple, yeah, very interesting. You have Apple phone, yeah? Yeah, 13?
14.
Oh, 14. Oh my God. Because my phone full of Samsung. I just give my family each of Samsung. Yes. I mean, oh, the camera. Metaverse. Okay, go ahead, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello everyone, I'm Sim. We want to make a short presentation about the business analysis on Epic. We are the team 3. We have our 5 members. I'm Sim, and Nisha, and Kupina, and Renzo. Slides, please. This is where the agenda. We are focused on problem statement, introduction, background research of the treasure review, methodology, analysis, conclusions, and preference. And next slide, please. Everyone knows that Steve Jobs is a co-founder of the Epic Academy. Next slide, please. I will talk about the problem statement. Yeah. In 2022, Epic Academy has decreasing their stock price because of the economic and environmental factor and internal factor. That economic and environmental factor is affected rightly or indirectly the company. Thus are include the environmental factor include the foreign currency exchange rate, interest rates, cost of labor, and inflation rate. Now,
I like your presentation slide.
now, teacher, it presents the introduction of the academy. So, after the presentation, I will know about the projects like.
What's your name?
Nisha.
Okay, thank you.
Steve Jobs established this company in 1976 with the other two members and the head office in California, and they made different kind of products like Mac accessories, Apple, iPhone, and software as well. And they brought in Apple's nationwide teams and others as well. They create and sell software and offer services such as online store, online music, video streaming, cloud, and so many products and services. And the oldest multinational corporation since 1986, it has been listed in stock exchange. And now, and as earlier I said, Steve Jobs founded this company, and Apple is a multinational technology company headquartered in the United States, and they produce different kinds of products. But they, in 1990, they produced laptop expanded and evolved. Apple lost significant market share to the lower price due to folly of Microsoft.
Hi, my name is Kulvindra. I will introduce the technological advancement of Apple company. The first main thing about the technological advancement in Apple is the artificial intelligence. Like you see, the Apple company is constantly improving its artificial capabilities that attract the customers more to buy the Apple phones. And the other thing is the augmented reality is a technology that superimposes digital content in the real world, like in the graphics and in the form of images. And the next is the security. One of the most important thing why people buy the iPhones is their security. Like it provides the one-way and the two-factor authentications, and also provide the security for the iCloud services such as iCloud Chain and the iCloud Drive. In addition to these, there is a software development and also the cloud computing, which is very important. Like it allows the users to access the applications and data from any interconnected devices, and the consumer can also access the data services from any device by using the iCloud and the Apple Music. It also makes easy for the people to transfer their important data and the images from one iPhone to another with the help of iCloud computing. And the next well introduced by the Vishal. Now I explain about the present about research and the future review. And nowadays, our economies is promoted worldwide. That's why the country are provide the opportunity for national and international to engage the cross-border trade. Now they are marketing and they are exploring to the increased international financial integration. That's why the stock market, the various country also they are increasing their stock market and they become integrated and allowing foreign investors to diversify their portfolio. Then next slide. Yeah. Skip. Yeah, but
Can you, well, this interesting. So where's your Tableau job?
later, yeah.
Yeah, so you need to talk about the fun question. It's also your fun exam.
Yeah, next.
What's your Tableau? Where is your KV?
Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
So
But
worried.
we need to co-analyze, we need to explain.
I'm worried.
Don't worry.
What a pretty lady, didn't fail you in my class.
Okay, now, Apple Community has they research about their to develop their product and how they research their customer needs and then they develop their product then they will create their marketing strategy to develop their product, and then they have affected operation and logistics strategy. These all are helping to increase the stock price. Then next, yeah, Visual is please.
I will share and talk about the methodology applied for this project. In this project, we are applying 6 stages for the time series predictions. According to the study, we applied the first step is the performance metrics and understands our business is according because our problem is the less stocks price of Apple in the 2022. And in this stage, we need to decide what to measure, decide how to measure it, and define the success metrics. Yeah. In the second step is obtaining data. Identify different data sources, locate the data set in the appropriate analytic environment, and analytics data exploration. Yeah. In this part, we need to explore the characteristics and meaning of the data set, and then we need to determine if the data quality is adequate to the answer to the questions. Yeah. Next. Then the fourth step is data preprocessing and filter engineering. In this part, we need to clean the data from missing values and outliers. And then we need to create the data filters from the right data and facilitate model training. In the fifth step, we have the model building and selection. In this stage, we need to use advanced algorithms that scan the theoretical data and extract patterns. And then we need to write a model to predict future values about the stock's price for Apple. And then we need to select the best model based on pure criteria. And then finally, the model deployment is the model and the pipeline to the production environment for application consumption. So, according to our project, we have two sources information. First, the historical data for price stocks for the last 5 years. Starting to 30 of November of 2017 to 30 November of 2022, and information on the level of sales and incomes that the company has perceived in the last 5 years. Yeah, the sources was Yahoo Finance and Kaggle. To go to in the historical prices of the shares of Apple. We have the price of the stocks of the last 5 years, and this data have the date, stocks listing date, and the open data, opening stocks price on the day, the highest stock price on the day, the lowest stock price on the day, the closing stocks price on the day, and the volume, the number of stocks traded on the date. Yeah, this
you have 2 more minutes.
Yeah. The data characteristics are.
You had better show our results. Yeah, because you have too much on there.
Okay. We'll start with. You can only pass for the most important. Yeah. We have the analysis for the every year, but we can focus on the 2022. That is the most important. Visualizations, yeah. Apple is a company that have the behavior after they launch their products in September and October. After these dates, we can see the behavior of the demand, yeah. If increase or decrease the demand of their products, and is according for affected the price stocks in this case, yeah. And you can see in 2022 the decrease the price stocks for Apple stocks, yeah. And it's because the growth was much lower compared to previous years, and it's observed the fall in the share price was after the launch for the new products in October 2022.
So what method are you using to predict
We use Tableau and only use the presentations for the data and the prices stocks. Yeah, the evolution.
What's the matter? You know, Arima or the
Yes,
moving
Arima.
average? Okay,
Arima, yeah.
okay, sure, Arima.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, and this is focus because in these two defaults, this affected is the two post-COVID supply storages and
We're running out of time. Go fast, go fast. You're running out of time. Okay, let's show your result. Tableau, okay, good, nice. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, good. More. You're looking like a PhD thesis, yeah? Good, nice. Tableau, revenue, iPhone 14, yeah. Tableau, okay. Fast. And do you have Kimi? Okay, show Kimi. So you want to show Kimi?
Just kind of like a 3 minutes.
Yeah, 3 minutes for you.
Okay.
Especially. Yeah.
Okay, you can see there the line of codes that probably all of you have done for your presentation. Okay, what happened with the stock prices? You know that the stock prices have many factors that make influence in the stock prices. So as you cannot determine only one factor, that is called unsupervised type of classification or unsupervised clustering. Unsupervised means that you don't have a dependent variable to connect to the relation.
How we do that using character in a bit, but we're just going to run through some iterations conceptually. For data, and we say, give me all of the rows of data.
Okay.
You just show us your method and result.
So for that reason, the only best option to make a clustering is the K-means. K-means is a common, very famous and usable way of clustering the data. And for that reason, we have used our programming because Excel is too difficult to make. And that is called an iteration of all the data that we have. In this case, at least 1,000 rows of data. I want to show you in the screen. Wait.
So you use R?
We have used our programming. I want to show you that we have collected, well, Michelle have collected from Cable the prices of the stock, and we have the dates and the volume that was sold. But if you want to start into a data analysis, you must know that when you are going to analyze, you cannot have a different type of information that is not numbers. So for that reason, we need to take out these two columns to let the program analyze the data. So I have collected here, summarized the line of codes. In fact, I put even the title, so you can understand what it has been done.
Okay, we know. Do you have elbow?
We have
just show us. We know.
Okay.
This is too much details.
So,
yeah.
So in this area, you put the comments. You can see here what is the processing of data. You can see that it was classified in 3. That's the question that I made to my other classmates. No, this is not. Sorry. Okay. So.
Okay, good. Elbow.
Okay. The elbow is what is going to tell us what type of how many clusters are we going to use to determine the common characteristics among all the data. Probably this type of classification, this type of clustering was done to determine the factors that influenced it in COVID-19. Because as we don't have information to connect that,
okay. So this is 2, right? K equal 2.
Yeah, we choose 3.
3, okay.
3.
How do you interpret it?
But we can use 2, 3,
okay,
and
that's
4.
fine. How do you interpret it?
Okay, the one that is most close to the access, to the join of the access, are the ones that are more probable to be the amount of correct clusters. So we can use 2, 3, or 4. As you said, it depends on the intuition, the experience, and on the knowledge of the data.
So when we run the line of code, because before we had to scale each stock price.
Okay, I have to stop you because we ran out of time. Good, fancy work. Okay, good, nice. Okay. Yeah. So now make sure, right? When you do your final exam, you will answer the 5 questions, right? Each question was $20, yeah? Yeah, you should focus each of the questions rather than one question, yeah? To me, you team focus too much on the theory, the background, right? You will lose a lot of marks. Yeah? So make sure. Luckily, you have this gentleman to make up your question 3. Yeah? So that's why teamwork is very important. Have you submitted your project yet? But I like to you guys work together to improve your final report. Yeah? Lay out your final report according to the 5 segments. Yeah? So now you got 100% on your introduction, right? Right now, Tableau is pretty weak, yeah? And then came in also not enough time. Then you have a time series, very good, but you not enough detail, right? Okay, so I give you 3 days to work on your final project. You email to me, I will reply to you. Okay. Yeah? Okay, but it's a very good work, impressive, yeah? Yes. Impressive presentation, right? Yeah. Good job, thank you. So 3 days, improve your final project, okay? Thank you, yeah. Make sure you put all this 5 sectors, yeah. Thank you. Good. Yeah, now team number 4. Welcome, team number 4. 50 minutes, all right? Thank you. Good. Okay, good. Then 5. Good job. 5, 6, 7. Yeah, well, 17. So when you're doing, you may start right now. 5:45. Could be 3 more days together. I know. Now you need to work together. Yeah. Now you put together. Otherwise you lose this grade. Yeah. Do together. 2 more days. Okay. Thank you for your. Okay. You may start.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Neil Taiwo, and I represent Group 4. Basically, concerning our project, what we talked about, or the problem we're trying to solve, is the issue of house pricing in Vancouver. Just as you know, housing is basically one of the basic units of life, which is clothing, food, and shelter. And Vancouver is a place that is quite expensive compared to every other provinces. Of BC generally is quite expensive compared to other places in BC. And and if you look at the statement problems here, Vancouver has the highest cost in real estate, and people find it very difficult to actually rent or buy properties in Vancouver. But why is this?
Presentation mode. Presentation. You know how to put the presentation? Yeah. Too small, yeah. Thank you. Great. Presentation mode, yeah. Let's wait. Okay. Okay, should work. Yeah. All right. Professional.
So basically, we all know that Vancouver is cost of living in Vancouver is actually very, very high. And why is this high? Well, for various reasons. Compared to every other provinces in Vancouver, there are things such as weather, jobs, job opportunities, and all, which makes people actually move down here because it is quite favorable. Now, we showed various problem statements here. Vancouver housing market has suffered many fluctuations with tendencies of keep rising. And like I said before, population, the influx of immigrants and other people for different purposes has actually contributed to this, which has actually shown that prices in terms of sales and rentals has actually increased over the years. Now, basically, what are the tools that we have actually used to solve this problem? Well, it's quite simple. In order for you to actually understand the purpose of what we are trying to do here today, I can only show you through Tableau visualization, which actually shows the visualization of data. And we actually use clustering Pythons and also Excel. Now, cluster here it has to do with the fact that we are using only one entity, which is human beings and housing, which in terms of population and in terms of influx of people. And that is why we're using these two data. Next one, please. Our data set description, it says that housing data has been collected through Cargo. Now, basically, on Cargo website, the information I was able to extract, or we were able to extract as a team, shows that the Cargo file had over 5,000 informations. And we needed just 1,000, which is 5,000 rows and 600 columns. And in terms of the pricing, you could see that there are different locations in Vancouver, BC, which is such as Abbotsford, North Vancouver, Richmond, Burnaby, Surrey, and all. And properties actually are different in terms of types of accommodation. It could be a house, it could be an apartment, it could be shared rooms, and all. Now, before we actually talk about our visualization strategy, I would like to explain that not all of our data that we've been able to extract were properly cleaned, and and this is because we didn't have to change the NAM. When you look at the data we actually retrieved, which is in our other file we sent to your email, in our rows and columns, all the rows and columns were filled with every single variable, and we're not missing any variable there, hence we didn't need to actually clean any of these data. Now, these are various informations of different housing and different qualities or functionalities of different properties in Vancouver, BC, that you can see. Black marble, which are the fittings in the house, solar, glass doors, electricity, and gardens. Now, the reason why you have all this data is because people have various preferences in terms of properties, in terms of the kind of homes they want to live, how many people live in these areas, what kind of jobs do they do, what's the cost. And these are the information we've been able to get on it in terms of the utility of electricity, in terms of the glass doors and all. And you look at the pricing, the average price over the years, and how many people have been able to go for properties that actually consume more utilities in the house. And if you look at this in terms of the amount per year, you'll see that it has over 2,283. In terms of black marble, well, I wouldn't like to go into details in terms of types of marble that are in the house, but we both understand what it means to actually have all these facilities in the kitchen. And this has been a basic visualization of every single data of most of the properties in all the locations I've actually mentioned earlier. Can you move to slide? No. Push. No, go back. Sorry, please. Okay, can you go back to the way it was? Sorry. Can you go to slide 11, please? I think 11 also has that information. Just keep going. Okay. No, I think no, not this one. Okay, you can get this one this time. Just go to this one. Yeah, this one. Okay, so basically in the visualization method, you will find out that I was actually trying to explain better with our visualization code, but this slide here will also be able to actually tell us what we're trying to do. Now, in the information I shared earlier, you will notice that the 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms here, in terms of the price list and their different locations. Now, these are the pricing that actually depicts and explains to every single person here how much each property actually costs in these areas. Now, what are we trying to do here? We're trying to solve the housing problems, which actually shows that 7.9% has been the amount that most people have been able to actually spend on rentals and how much they've been able to spend on sales. And this is because of the mortgage facilities and pricing. So how do we solve this problem? Is to make housing much more available to people. Thank you.
We used what's your name? Ikenna. Okay. So we used the decision tree system as one of the classifiers. And we use N as the number of target classes, and we don't have much target classes. And we use the random forest classifier, and it has an accuracy of 8.5%, and it has the highest accuracy of all the others. So we concluded that that was the most effective. Then for the K, this is our elbow, and this is for the K's.
Which tools are you using to generate this album? Python? So what's your K?
We use
what's your K? Cluster.
Then so we use the personal principal component analysis so that we filter the to make the diagram more interpretable so that we eliminate other factors as well. So and it minimizes information loss. Then this is the visualization. This is the clustering for the visualization for the cluster, showing different clusters. And this is the plot of the PCA that we used.
So K equal 4, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. How to interpret it? What does it mean? By price or by house type or by
price? By
price. Price. Yeah. Okay.
By price and by it's a scalable fee, like in different type of different pattern houses and different pricing. So we have like scattered those data.
So which color is highest price?
Blue one. Oh, sorry, the three.
The blue one. Yeah.
The red one. Yes, the red one.
Okay. Where located? Which district located? Okay, good. This one.
Yes, we have like the scattered one over here, like how much differences, like the clustering has like the variations among the pricing. Some of them have like a very much variation among the pricing. Like the black marble one has like more price, some housing that has like a lower price, depending on the zone of the city, the Vancouver city. Some of the apartments, those are like for one suite apartment, it's like a very high price. And some are the most affordable ones, but those are like in house type with only electricity support, but without any like heater support or any other facilities. But yet the prices are high. So we have just distinguished some of the characteristics of the housing or the household business, and then we have like clustered them by the categories.
Okay. So what do you classify?
I'm in Cam and I lost my voice to make it hear. So this is the outcome of our research, and we got most of the data from cargo. So looking at this table, we divided our data analysis into the cities and the number of bedrooms, with the maximum being 3 bedrooms. And from this table, you can see that downtown has the most expensive 1-bedroom apartments. And if you look at the 2-bedroom apartments, Surrey and Langley has the least expensive 2-bedroom apartments, even less expensive than the 1-bedroom apartments in downtown. We also conducted a research on the renters' income, renters' income to rent ratio, and we discovered that most Vancouver renters spend close to 38% of their income on rent. We also discovered that there was a region-wide increase on the monthly rent from October to November, and rent increased by 61%. And from our prediction, we can tell that this is going to go on for some time due to the increase in interest rates due to inflation.
This is Hasib. So this is the outcome of renter demographics. So there is a more diverse demography of renters these days. Like that is, there is a recent jump in renters, age 35 and above. However, the younger under 25 demographic is also represented. In conclusion, the majority of Vancouver tenants are aged 25 to 34. We also showed the average cost of unfurnished versus furnished apartments. The unfurnished one-bedroom condominiums are roughly $96 cheaper than the furnished units in the same month. We also did the breakdown analysis by Vancouver neighborhoods. We break down the neighborhoods, downtown, Kitsilano.
Since you only have 3 minutes left, do you have you done classify? Classifying method?
Yes.
Okay. Show us classify. I have to cut it off because we don't have time. Good, yeah, thank you. I'm going to read your final result. So, can you present?
Yes.
Yeah.
So as you see the
So
finding
what's your name?
my name is Nadia.
Nadia, okay.
Yes. Nadia.
Nadia, okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, so as you know, so this is the finding of our report, like a maturity point. As you can see, people here like spending 40%, around 40% of their earning in rent, for their rent, living in Vancouver. And Vancouver being the warmest city in Canada, so people will attract most of the international students and international workers as well, and they want to live here in between this city. But being with the increasing demand, there is no supply for places for this increasing amount of population here. So what they are doing, they are living outside the city, and it is like killing their time, and sometimes it becomes very difficult for them to come here. So what we recommend, like
only 1 minute left.
I know. Okay, so from government point of view, what we recommend is that they can use the spare lands that sometimes those are reserved for golf spaces. So they can use those government lands to build some non-marketing housing plans for these upcoming international students or whoever wants to facilitate from there. Or what they can do, one more thing, like the housing plans going on, like only the house ones, they can offer them that we want to build an apartment here, maybe you can take 2 of the flats from there and
I have to stop you because time is up. So what's your classifier you're using? Any classifier?
for decision tree.
Decision tree, okay. Show me decision tree. Anything? Decision tree, okay. So this is decision tree?
This is decision tree.
Okay.
And
Okay, I know that. Yeah. What else? You only have one classifier? Did you use regression?
Yeah, but
not sure there?
It's not yet.
Okay, that's fine. You report, yeah? Okay. Okay, that's good enough. Good enough. Okay, let's give a hand for this team. Yeah. Time short. Very interesting problem to solve. Yeah? Housing. Housing the price. Yeah? And in particularly this Vancouver, right? It's crazy, yeah? So the people ask, what's the impact of the pricing? Of course, location, yeah? And also the characteristic of the house, right? Yeah? Your decoration too, right? The structure, yeah? So this is, you can use the picture, right? We use much as the 5 pricing, right? And you need the data, method. What do you finding? Yeah, based on that. Yeah. Yeah, I know. But sorry, but you don't have time. You have to do it. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Good job. Good job. Our review report. Yeah. Yeah, you do very well. You do very well. Thank you. Okay, give a team for evaluation. Yes. Give a team for evaluation. You guys did a good job, right? So now I'm reading the report. Very sure we find that each of the method. I'm sorry. Yeah, we are not economicals. Yeah, this is not economic. This can be one method. Economical, right? Housing economical. Right? We focus on that. Okay. Good. Let's welcome team 5, right?
Yes,
Yeah, Team 5. Welcome, Team 5.
Thank you. Hello everyone, we're Team 5 and I'm Sachin and we'll be talking about US flight delay analysis and predictive model. Go ahead. So the airline industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry and one of the differentiators that builds their brands is how many delays, cancellations and diversions those airlines have. Therefore, the business problem that we're trying to solve from businesses is how do these airlines stand amongst their competitors and which area do they need to improve on? And for customers, which airline is the best and which season has the longest delays and cancellations? So we used Kaggle for our data set. We found the flight delay patterns in the US between Jan 2017 and July 2022. Now, because of this, the pandemic years were included and that skewed our data a little bit. So our predictive model was only able to predict weather because that was the only thing that wasn't skewed because of the pandemic. Go ahead. We can skip this part in a moment.
How many rows, how many columns?
So we had around 200,000, I think 219,000, just off the top of my head. 219,000 rows, something like that. And columns we have are like 10 rows, something like that.
10 columns?
12.
Okay. Yeah, always, right? Always. Okay, good. Tableau.
Yeah, this is Muhammad Taib, and I'm going to speak about approach for that.
What's your name, please?
Sachin.
Sachin, okay. What's your name?
Muhammad.
Okay, Muhammad. Okay, thank you.
The initial approach which we have done with the visualization using Tableau, and the data sets which we have used is US delay data sets. The source for which we have used from Kaggle.com. The data cleaning is done as per the procedure, removing incorrect data and corrupt data and duplications. The main objective of Tableau visualization is analysis and prediction of flights that get delayed using visualization procedure. The visualization for the years 2017 to 21 is employed here. Next. Significant reasons behind the delay are mainly 5 types. Delay due to the another flight delay, that is the impact of another carrier flights. Delay due to the national aviation system, example, the radars or air traffic controls or something like that. Carriers related delay, example, technical glitches or crew shortage. Delay due to the weather conditions. Example, the unpredictable or uncertain climatic conditions. Delay because of security reasons. Example, the threat or hawk's call received to the security authorities. The consequences of flight delay is airline operation and scheduling are impacted, resulting in increased block times and on routes, block times on routes and dearer or expensive air tickets. After visualization, the first step, after analyzing the visualization, we observed that the cancelled, delayed, and diverted flight status is maximum during the period of 2000, during the pandemic strike period. However, in pre and post-pandemic year, that is 2017 and 19, the flight delay status is marginally affected. The next, please.
Okay. So if you look at this beautiful graph, we see that the bar graphs are the total number of delays, and the color represents how much of that delay is represented by one of these columns. So basically, what we see is all these logistical delays, like delays due to other late flights, delays due to heavy air traffic, which is the national aviation system, or delays due to there being no crew, was the major affecting factor for delays in airlines. Weather and security delays did not affect as much. Next slide. Now this is a similar chart. This measures the number of minutes of delays. But another thing I'd like you guys to notice is in 2020, the number of delays is quite less, which is an interesting thing. Now, why do you think that would be? No, the delays are low. The reason why that is because, of course, the flight weren't just delayed. They were completely cancelled. So that's why the delays are very low in 2020 because they were just cancelled. And that's a different factor. Next slide. Right. So Mohammed touched upon this, and I'll elaborate further. So pre-pandemic and post-pandemic, we have two conclusions. Post-pandemic, we see in the initial months, the number of cancellations were increased. But after that, cancellations went down, and instead of cancellations, airlines resorted to delays. So delays went up, and delays and diversions went up. And pre-pandemic, we also see a pattern. It's quite hard to see, but we see it in January period, which is the holiday season. There's a spike in delays because there's a lot of people traveling, and the same happened during the summer season when there's holiday season. People are going.
Okay, very good one. Okay, let's go to Kemi. Have you done Kemi?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Very good percentage. So what's the name, please?
My name is Narendra.
Okay.
Okay, since we are handling a very huge data which has more than thousands of columns, which is very difficult to figure out to label the reason, specific reason of the delay, we'll have to find out another method like unlabeled or unsupervised method, which is called the K-means. This is basically based on the technique that find out the similarity between the reasons, like property similarity to the reason, like delay because of the weather, because of the technical issues, because of the security issues. So we have first initially cleaned the data, we pick one airline and we try to figure out one airline and specific period of time, and we plot a scatter plot for that airline's data. Then we notice that we can be able to figure out number of clusters which are making a close relation with each other. So this is the random, we are figuring out the clusters, and then we try to find out the center of the distance. This is centroid, which is having a minimum distance on the center of the each point. So based on this technique, we keep on minimizing the distance and the center size, and then we figure out the exact center where we can be able to make a number of clusters. And this clusters technique will have the one thing we can say the quality that they are having a unique property, like something having a.
So what tool are you using? What tool?
We are using the elbow method. She will be here.
Myself. So we are using elbow method just to find which cluster is optimal for the method we are using for the reasons. It is basically a graph between the WCSS values and the number of clusters. The formula is given here. This is just for the 3 distance cluster, but we can use it for the more also. The point where the elbow starts to be horizontal, it is the optimal point for the number of clusters to be according to our data set or for the reasons. So what do we find from this?
So which tools are you using to generate that graph?
Excel.
Okay, thank you. That's good. Thank you.
So what did we find from this K-means and elbow method is that the delay is not due to the basically due to the bad weather or the number of flights. It's basically due to the number of traffic and the flights in that area or the delay of another flight using the same aircraft. Hi, my name is Amreen and I'm going to explain linear regression. Here in this basic chart, I'm just showing how there are multiple factors affecting the delays. The various factors are for the arrival delays are the weathers, the carriers, the NAS delays, and the late aircraft delays. Now, what does NAS delay mean? The National Aviation System, where they are controlling the air trafficking. Now, while they do this, when there is a lot of air traffic, during holiday seasons or during when there is high demand for flights, right? So here I have used this scattered plot to show each and every delay. Here, how reliable is this linear regression? Now, the main thing which shows here is our R-square. Now, if you see the number of flights which arrived at the airport is this means if they arrive 15 minutes before or after the scheduled timing, that means they have arrived on time. And this data is 64% reliable.
And the main thing is our intercept, where this derives the data and helps us to understand. The formula for this is y is equal to mx plus b. So here, the next graph here, I have described and shown the weather delays. What are the weather delays? During the heavy rain season, during the snow seasons, these are the factors influencing the delay. And the next thing here, the most important thing I should say, the aircraft being used for previous flights, and same aircraft going to be used for the next flights. This is the biggest reason the aircrafts are using in the carrier delays. And here, the most reliable reason is some of the rate here is it is 96%. It is nearest to 1. So this is the most reliable data. And here, I would say that the number of flights delayed due to the previous flight using the same aircraft being delayed. This is the most reliable data. And the next here, this particular graph, the total minutes of delay due to the national aviation, it is 81%. Now, the main factors are the carrier delays, the companies, the air companies which are using the same aircraft. Another thing is the air trafficking system which they are controlling. These are the main factors, and more than the weather and other things which are delaying the flights and causing a lot of huge losses to customers. We are the victims who are paying and also being delayed for no reason. Thank you.
Hello, myself Showtime. So here I have discussed time series analysis and focusing. Time series analysis basically is the process of estimating future values based on past data. So here I am predicting the future value of on weather delay. So first we can see it was an upward trend, and in February 2019, it was the number of delay is increasing high rate, and after that it is gradually decreased. And in June 2023, in the month of pandemic, flights got cancelled and the flights delay rate is very low. And after that, after the 2020, again it's showing upward trend and flight delays again increase. So I have made this forecasting by using Excel stats.
Good. So you have 1 more minute.
So in conclusion, customers now know which airlines are truly lagging behind. Now we skip this slide, but I'll quickly summarize that ExpressJet should be avoided. Maximum number of cancellations. Hawaiian Airlines use wherever possible. Least amount of cancellation. And now companies know where to improve. ExpressJet now know they should lower their cancellation. Hawaiian Airlines know they should advertise that they have lower cancellations, but they should hire more crew. Because of low crew, that was the only reason that they were being delayed. Now lastly, we took into account skewed results because of the pandemic, but still we found some model predicting weather because the weather wasn't affected by the pandemic. And pre-pandemic, holidays, summer times, there's more delays. Those are our conclusions. Thank you, everyone.
Good job, yeah. So this team, right, yes. Into final exam, he covered every area, right? About significant about the flight thing. Then Tableau did a good work, yeah. And they came in, they used the arrow, they show you, the one that k equals 3, and also they used these time series look very good, positive. The only question about linear regression, yeah. So you break up the regression by each of that region, yeah. So why not you study why it's delay, yeah? Yes or no, right? Then your X factor can be, many other reasons, right? 5 reasons, yeah. So you can see which region impacted the delay. Why they use logistic regression rather than linear regression? Yeah. If you say the flight delay, not delay, then this is a 5-factor, right? Can be a weather delay, can be the continuation of the aircraft, right? Yeah. So the linear regression, our reading report, right? But it doesn't very sound for linear regression because the both numerical variable. Yeah. You y I can see, right? How many total delay? Yeah. But what's that? You have to break down the detail. Yeah. If you study based on the logistic regression, then you base, right? See which factor affect the delay. Yeah. Which have based on the p-value. Which factor have more impact? Okay. Okay. Are you done there? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So we need to fast because we have our next team. Yeah. So team. Okay. Let's do fast. Oh, okay. Well, so we have video there, right? Make sure you watch the video. Then give presentations, give evaluation for the team, yeah. So make sure you read it, yeah. For those ones earlier. Okay, let's team 6. Do right now, team 6. For those who have out class, right? Make sure you watch the video, right? And give feedback. Okay. Thank you. Team 6, you may start right now. Okay. Team 6. Okay, do it right now. Team 6. Start. We have team 7. How many of you? 5 of you. Okay. So I want you guys to read, yeah. See what's your result. Okay. Yeah. And this way we can save some time. Okay. So I want you guys to show the result, right? What's problem? Simple. What's your Tableau? Show me. What's your Q&A? Show me. What's your classification? Show me. That's all. No, no blah blah blah. Talk too much because we don't have time.
We completed 10 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. You will do better. The better. Yeah. Just show the result. Netflix, okay. So we're able to do Netflix, yeah? So the problem is very significant, okay? So show us your Tableau work right away.
Okay. Yeah. So everybody faces kind of recommendation issues with Netflix. So when we watch any shows, we don't get enough recommendation or the predictive recommendation. So we are doing a predictive analysis for Netflix to get a data where we have taken data from Kaggle, 1,000 rows, and we have taken and we have used analytical tools like Tableau and Excel for our presentation here. For the next slides. So we just have given brief definitions about predictive analysis. So what exactly it means to predict, and see we can see that what usually Netflix captures when we actually browse their things are like how we respond to various movies, number of interaction a customer may have the device which we use, the location which we are using, or the content where we are resume. So Netflix actually uses all these things to predict a lot of analysis and also to come up with various recommendations and to bring up a business for to bring their business in profit.
Very good, very significant.
So we go with the data visualization first. Rohit will start and we'll explain.
Okay,
as we know, data visualization is the presentation of raw data into the graphical form, which makes the data more meaningful. So if we talk about the data visualization, so we have taken the Netflix TV shows and movie for the data visualization, in which we have taken many countries' data for us, Canada, USA, Argentina, and Australia, in which we have defined the data of 2 countries, that is Canada and USA. So these are the data for the TV shows and movie. Rest the information will be explained by Rohit.
Nice.
Okay. We showed the data using Tableau,
based on the Canada TV shows and movies around the data, and we segregated them by the duration, the number of people who watch the movies in Canada. These are my year, the source. And we also compare the data between the movies and TV shows. People are watching, I mean, which one are they watching more movies or TV shows? So based on the result, they are watching more movies than TV shows.
Beautiful. Okay. So Kenny.
Yeah, so this is K-means, so I'm not going to explain this. Everyone knows what is K-means and how it works. So I'm going to skip this part. So yeah, Netflix. We have taken the Netflix movies and shows data was obtained from the Kaggle, and what we did is just we classified and prepared the relevant data. Then we selected 1,000 data rows, and we have selected 5 variables was selected to find the K-means. So all the characteristics data was converted into numerical data. That is the very first step to do K-means clustering, and then this was classification. Sorry?
Apple graph.
Apple graph
is not in this presentation.
But we have it in the document. We don't have it.
Okay, fine. I will do this.
So yeah, this is how we did it. So we found it.
This is Excel. Is using Excel.
Yeah.
Yes, it's using Excel.
So we checked. We did the clustering for 5 times, and we found the minimum ones. And we found that there is 5 clusters.
Okay, let's do classification. Now I really you find the report.
We have done the 2 classification methods, that is the linear and the night-based. The linear regression tells us the data about how, depending on the revenues generated from the domestic and the international films at the box office, Netflix shows its content based on the different age limits that it has. From the linear regression, we have got the data of 65.6% as R-square, which will help Netflix to maintain their customers to moving to other competitors.
So the Y is revenue, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Then what's the X?
So,
how many X?
It's based on domestic revenue and the international revenue. Netflix is gathered to predict its ratings, how much the movie is.
Okay, you predict revenue based on the domestic or okay. So what's the other one? Naive base.
Naive base.
Yeah, these are the.
So this is data classification from naive base.
So we use the second classification method.
Next.
Yeah, night-base is used to take the probability analysis of independent variables. So we have to ratings and the movie shows or TVs for the classification data. So we have procured this data of the categories which are 4 rated are 444, which has the highest number of ratings, and the other data is 163, which has 5 rating, where most of the users are like to watch the content.
So the Y is the rating.
Yeah,
right?
Y is
okay.
So based on the ratings, Netflix can predict how
Okay.
people are.
What's your X? How many X?
So we have took the rating and the revenue on that. So
Okay.
based on the revenue, the rating is predicted. So whether how many people go to watch a movie. So based on that, the revenue is generated, and based on that, people like the content.
So it's basically the feedback which they get the rating from, and on depending on the feedback, we have the.
So what do you find? What do you look conclusion?
So we generated that the ratings which are above 3, the people are most likely to watch the content on Netflix, and Netflix can get more subscribers to generate more revenue.
Okay. Good. Good. Sounds interesting.
Conclusion.
Yeah. Okay.
Now to conclude our presentation, we could accurately offer the findings that can be delivered for the number of years duration after thoroughly analyzing the data set required to anticipate TVCs and movies. We analyzed K-means clustering for the duration, data added release date, year, genre, and country. And we have taken 5 points and 5 clusters from 1000 data rows. And
thank you. Have a good day.
We offer.
Okay, very good. So Yeah, you guys were too well on the final exam. Okay, done. Very good job. Make sure to yeah. Okay, good. Good job. So now, last team, last is the best. Okay. Answer the 5 questions, yeah? Two straight. Not minimum. Okay, now let's welcome P7. Okay. Good. Now, let's go right now.
One has. So this is 6-7, talking about carbon emission. And carbon emission is like in every activity today. It's going to every business that we do, and that is why it's of very importance to us. So if people are aware of this, the work towards reducing carbon emission, slide 2, please. So one of the major contributors of carbon population is the transportation sector. And there are 2 existing initiatives that replace carbon emission, which is the Kyoto Protocol and the recycling.
So what is your Tableau? Show me Tableau work. It's good, very good. Yeah. Yeah, Tableau. Oh,
The world mostly consumes all natural types like food, light, chemical and sound, and you can see that over the time it has gone really high, which is not good. So in conclusion, there are several ways to use to reduce, and these are dashboard. You can see CO2 emission over time, decreasing time series, and energy time.
okay. What's your name? What's your name? Solani. Okay, got it. Okay. So
okay, so we actually use linear regression. So we use Excel. We use Excel to perform linear regression and K-mean. The K-mean is actually in the Excel file that has been sent. We were able to group the CO2 figures into 2. The lower ones and the higher ones. But I want to say that most of them were actually very high. So when we ran the analysis of linear regression, we were able to see that it's either it's high or it's low. But the regression formula actually told us that our data means that CO2 emission figures actually go high every year based on the analysis that we want. So the intercept is at this, which is going to be negative. For example, if the energy production level is at 300, if you put it into that formula, you're going to have like 18,000, for example, which is not good. So if we have that kind of figure year on year, it means that every year, with all industrial activities and business activities, CO2 emission actually goes high. The same analysis that we ran on TN on Arima also proved the same thing. Really, Arima.
Oh, you guys use Arima. Wow.
We use XLab for this year to travel the data of worldwide from the virtual curriculum that we have for the database until the last 2021. With that, prepared 5-year analysis, and according to the formula, the variance was a little bit higher. It estimate that it could be a little bit lower, like 5% lower. So,
nice, good job, good job. So any came in, you guys didn't show came in? No?
It's in the Excel file.
Huh?
Excel file. Something.
Excel file, okay. So I'll put the video report. Okay, good. Team 7, wonderful work. Excellent work, yeah? Yes. So, give good evaluation, yeah? Please give good evaluation. Okay, make sure you submit your PowerPoint and your report, and also your file. Yeah, okay? PowerPoint, front report, answer report, yeah.
Nothing is
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you fun job. Okay, good job. Thank you. Yeah, all good, all good. All good. Okay, you guys go, Good job. Very good.